Hey, been watching the debates a lot lately, the last Democratic debate, so I figured I would mimic it a little in my office and share something from this week's Parsha that touches on a great argument in these debates. And that is, how much should our society be taking care of those that really need a little more caring? There's a very famous line that's attributed to our society, our civilization, that the measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. And in this week's Parsha, the Torah tells us, "V'ger lo toneh v'lo tichletzenu," that a stranger, a foreigner, someone who comes in, should not be oppressed. It's actually referring to someone who's not necessarily from another country, but is converting into Judaism, because you too were strangers in the land of Egypt. You began the Jewish people as outsiders. And then the Torah continues, Kol almana v'yatom lo ta'anun, that any widows and orphans should not be oppressed. And if you oppress them, God says that they're going to cry out, and I am going to answer their cries. And there's a double language used, very, very emphatic. Ki im tza'ok yitz'ak. If they cry out, God says, then I will hear their cries, and I will become very, very angry. And God gets very, very angry and says, that your wives will become widows and your sons will become orphans. We are warned against treating people that are more vulnerable and weak in a way that takes advantage of their weak position and situation. The question is, what should the government of any caring country do for the weakest in their society? So first of all, I want to make an important point, because we don't get political here at MGE, but this is really important, and that is the Torah is directing all of these laws and rules to us as individuals. What is our responsibility as individuals? What the society should do might be a different case. We need to have rules, we need to have laws, we need to have handicap, disability, accessibility, we need to have laws that make sure that widows and orphans aren't taken advantage of. But do we need to be taxed to such a degree so enough money can go to the people that are less affluent in our societies, or that really need more of a handout? Does the Torah believe in welfare? Does it not? And it's unclear, because the Torah doesn't say, the Torah talks about giving charity, and it doesn't say that the government has to give charity. The Torah says that you as an individual need to give charity. But the Torah also, in this week's Parshat Mishpatim, which means laws and rules, wants us to set up rules and laws to make sure that people get taken care of. It doesn't talk about getting taken care of financially. It means that there needs to be rules and laws to ensure that they're not taken advantage of, and they're given opportunities to be able to make it in society just like anyone else. And that's why it's left open for us to decide how to allocate the precious resources, the scarce resources of our society. How much to tax? Because we know if we tax people too much regulation, we know that we can't be as successful in our businesses, and then we can't give as much charity. On the other hand, can we really depend on people to give charity? So maybe we should just tax them and give a certain amount of that to the poor. That's the debate. That's what's going on in Congress between probably the Democrats and the Republicans. And it's a very, very important issue. What the Torah wants us to do is the Torah wants us as individuals to make sure that we don't allow people that are oppressed or weak or poor to go unnoticed. Because again, we measure ourselves and our society according to our ability to take care of those who are weakest. Shabbat Shalom.